Hey guys, welcome back to Sparkman Homestead. My name is Krista and today I have a really fun, bring you guys up so you can see me. I have a really fun project to do with you guys today. I have been really trying to focus on eliminating a lot of the unnecessary toxins that I use on my body. I am so aware of eating junk food and how bad it is for your body, but I have been really slacking on the other part of it, which is like my face cream and my makeup and all of that stuff. I just really tend to use the cheap makeup that I just have used since I was a teenager, and I know it works for me. So I am trying to slowly transition out of that. It is so expensive to buy like really healthy mascara, like really expensive. I am not going to try to tackle my mascara right now because that is a whole other feat. But what I am going to do is I'm definitely going to be trying to focus on making more things like my lotion, for example. I really want to make a better, healthier lotion. So on my Azure haul a couple months ago, I picked up these magnesium flakes. I got them because I want to try to make like a magnesium lotion. I've heard it's really good if you have like restless leg syndrome, and it just kind of helps calm you down before you sleep. Now I know that there's definitely better ways to kind of get magnesium into your body, like including eating foods that are very high in magnesium. But for right now, I am going to try to make a magnesium lotion for my legs. And I'll just put it on before I go to bed. And hopefully, because my legs, I'm a fidgeter. I don't know if you can tell from my videos, but not only am I a fidgeter, I'm a hand talker. So I'm constantly moving, but I have really bad, like I call it like just fidgety legs. When I'm laying in bed, like I'm constantly just moving my feet. And I think that's maybe restless leg syndrome. I don't know. I've never been diagnosed and I am definitely not a doctor, but I have read that this is supposed to kind of calm that down a little bit. Also, there's a whole bunch of other things that your body shows that you're low in magnesium. Again, not a doctor, please do your own research. This is definitely not me giving medical advice by any means, but I have read that there's a lot of other symptoms like not being able to sleep really well. That's another sign of being low in magnesium, and there's quite a bit of other ones. So maybe this will help, maybe it won't, but at least I'll have a nice healthy lotion to put on. So we're gonna get started making this. I am probably gonna end up bringing you guys down to my stovetop so you can actually see what I'm adding. I don't really have a good island that I can set you guys up where you can see my face plus what I'm doing. So that's why I always just bring you down so you can kind of see what I'm doing. Okay, I think before I bring you down, I'm gonna let you know what you all need for this recipe. So obviously we need some magnesium. This recipe that I'm using, I will leave the link for it. It is from the blog ouroilyhouse.com. She recommends using magnesium flakes in this. There are other things that you can buy for magnesium. We're just gonna use the flakes for this recipe. And then, sorry, my kettle is boiling back there because we need to get some water boiling for this recipe. The other thing we're gonna use is some beeswax pellets. If you don't have the pellet kinds, you can definitely just get the beeswax and then just grate it. We're gonna use some coconut oil, and then we're also going to use some cocoa butter and then a little bit of lavender essential oils. If you don't want to use the essential oils, you don't need to. This particular blogger, she has a YouTube channel as well, and I don't know if she did a video on this or not, but I will definitely leave the blog post that she did with it. She does a lot with essential oils, so she puts the essential oils and stuff, and I really like the smell of lavender. It helps with kind of getting you calm and relaxed, so we're gonna use it in this. To start, we're gonna take half a cup. This is a 1 cup, not a half. And I just got my magnesium flakes from Azure Standard, as I'd said earlier. So we're gonna take half a cup of our magnesium flakes and we're gonna put them into a bowl. This is kind of what they look like. And then we're gonna add 1/8 cup of boiling water, or 2 tablespoons of boiling water in this. And just get this stirred. You just want these magnesium flakes to dissolve. So I have a double broiler set up. I just have a pot, and then I bought this like double broiler attachment at IKEA, and it's just supposed to fit on top of their pots. I think it may be their newer pots because it's a little bit big for this one, but maybe it will fit on my other one. Let me see. Yeah, it fits a little bit better on this one, maybe. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna change, hold please. We're gonna change the pots. So I just have just a couple inches of water in there. I'm gonna put my bowl on top. You don't necessarily need a double broiler for this. You could just take a pot and then put a glass bowl over top of the pot and do that in this as well. So not required, but I just bought it because it was Black Friday and they were on sale. I think I paid like $2 or something for it. So definitely worth it. Okay, to this pot, we are going to add 1/4 cup of coconut oil. 3 tablespoons of beeswax, and then 3 tablespoons of a cocoa butter. This is really hard. I wonder how much is in here. Let me try to double check. Okay, I'm gonna scrape almost all of this in here because this is 2 ounces, which I believe is about 4 tablespoons. And this recipe calls for 3 tablespoons. So we're just gonna scrape in a majority of this package. Okay, well, we just put in 2 ounces and hopefully there's not, I don't know if you can see, but the bottom broke. Hopefully that's not in there. Get this stirred until it is all melted. There's also cocoa butter all over my floor because it was flying everywhere when I was trying to get it out. So my floor is gonna be, it's gonna be polished and it smells amazing. Like real authentic raw cocoa butter. It smells like chocolate. My hands smell like chocolate right now. It's amazing, and it feels so good on the skin. These magnesium flakes are just not completely dissolving. Might add just a touch bit more boiling water to this and see if I can get them to melt a little bit more. So that is completely melted. Turn off the heat, and then we are gonna take this, hopefully it's not boiling hot, no it's not. We're gonna take this off the heat and we're just gonna let that cool for a minute while these are still, I'm gonna add a little bit of water to this. Just want it a little bit hotter to see if I can dissolve these more. We are gonna end up whipping this lotion, so it should be fine. I don't know, they're just not dissolving very well. Maybe they were just too big. Might have been a benefit for me to maybe crush them a little bit more. They're starting to slowly dissolve now. While we wait for that to dissolve and this to kind of cool down a bit before we go to the next step, which is just kind of whipping them both together, I am actually going to include a couple of clips for you guys. So before Christmas, I made my husband some beer balm. I normally make him beer balm. It's so easy to make. He loves it, and it really helps his beard not kind of get tangled. He puts it on every day and it just kind of keeps his beard a little bit more maintained. The other thing that I made was some Tiger Balm. It is really, really good for sore muscles. It is going to be so beneficial for me come springtime when I am in that garden for 8 hours a day, just working hard. So I made some Tiger Balm, and then the other fun thing that I finally took the plunge and made was some beeswax candles. I am so in love with beeswax candles, especially now because it's so dark and it's just, I just love them. So I decided to make some beeswax candles. So what I'm gonna do is include those clips so that you guys can see how I made them and how easy it is to make them. And then we will come back once that is all cooled off, and then we'll get that whipped together and get that all done. So here's the clips. First thing we are going to make is Steven's Beard Balm. So what I'm doing in a pint-sized mason jar is I'm taking 2 teaspoons of a beeswax. I'm just using the pellet beeswax. It works really, really, really well with this. It melts really quickly. And then you're gonna take 1 teaspoon of shea butter. I'm not a huge fan of this particular shea butter that I purchased on Amazon. Next time I make this, I'm gonna actually be using a cocoa butter that I got from Azure Standard, but I normally do use shea in this, and I'm just gonna switch switched up a bit just because I don't like the smell of that particular shea butter. It almost smells like it's gone rancid. Anyways, we're gonna add 3 teaspoons of a fractionated coconut oil. Fractionated coconut oil is just pretty much a coconut oil that does not solidify at a cold state. It always stays liquid form. So we're gonna use that in there. And then you're gonna use half a teaspoon of vitamin E oil. I don't have any vitamin E oil. So what I did is I just took some vitamin E caplets. I think I used about 6 of them. And I just cut the bottoms off and just emptied them into the mason jar. You're gonna take 2 drops of a cedar wood, 2 drops or maybe 4 drops of a tea tree oil, and then 2 drops of a rosemary essential oil. Rosemary is really, really good for hair. It encourages hair growth. Tea tree oil I just use because tea tree is really good for the skin and it helps with acne prone skin. So I like to add that in there. He also loves the smell of tea tree oil. So you're gonna put this into a saucepan with about 1 to 2 inches of boiling water in it. And then you're just gonna stir that until all the components are melted in there. And then you're gonna pour it into one of your little containers. These are just containers that I picked up on Amazon. I can leave them linked for you. I love them. I put all of my balms in them and they work perfect. I've used them over and over again. They're really good to be reused. Steven loves this beard oil, and when it gets low, he makes a point of reminding me that I need to make him some more. So there is the final beard oil. The next project I want to get done on this particular day was I wanted to get some homemade tiger balm made. I'm really wanting to make sure that I have it available for myself once we get into the height of gardening season and I'm doing a lot of physical labor. I have read a lot of reviews that this is really good. I don't know where I happened to get this recipe, so I'm just going to leave it printed out for you guys in the video description. I think it was on Instagram somewhere, but I'm not 100% positive. So what you're going to take is 1/4 cup of a coconut oil. You can just use a regular coconut oil in this. 1/4 cup of an almond oil and 1 tablespoon of beeswax. You're going to melt all of these components together into a double broiler. Once they are melted, you're going to let them cool down just a bit. You do not want to add your essential oils to a too hot mixture. It does take away the benefits of the essential oils. So you want to wait until it cools down just a little bit. And then what you're going to do is add 5 drops of each of these essential oils. You're going to add 5 drops of clove oil, 5 drops of peppermint, lavender, eucalyptus, and rosemary. Get all the essential oils in. You're just going to stir it and then pour it into another one of your containers. Again, I'm using my favorite containers from Amazon. This batch actually made 2 of these containers. I have a lot of tiger balm now to get me through this spring season. So the next thing I'm going to get done is some beeswax candles. I have been putting this project off for a really long time. I don't know why. It is literally the simplest thing to do. So I had purchased this really big, I think it's a 1-pound block of beeswax from Mountain Rose Herbs, and it was a workout trying to get this thing grated. I ended up only grating half of it because my arms got so sore after a while, and I ended up using these beeswax pestle, I don't know what the word is, the small pellets of beeswax. Way easier. What I ended up doing was as the wax was slowly melting, I just kept adding more and more wax into the double broiler. It just didn't fit all at once and it was kind of making a mess. So I think in total I ended up using probably about 1.5 pounds of beeswax in total. So the next step I wanted to get done was just getting the wicks into my containers that I chose to use. I chose to use these milk containers that I picked up from Hobby Lobby. That's also where I got the wax and the wicks from. And I would not use these containers to make a candle because of the way that the candle burns. It actually doesn't emit a lot of light from it because it's kind of being burned inside this small container. So once your wax is all melted, you are going to pour that into your containers. I strongly recommend doing this over top of a rag unless you are not a klutz like me and can actually pour things into a bottle and not have it spill everywhere. So once I got it poured in, I just let them cool on the counter. It took about 24 hours for these to completely cool down. Regardless, my house was freezing. It still took that time. The other thing that I want to suggest is make sure you're using equipment, so like a double burner, a knife, a spoon that you no longer want to use for anything else, because once the wax comes in contact with it, it is almost impossible to get that wax completely removed from it. My double broiler pretty much is now just a wax broiler, and that spoon has now been donated to my candle making kit. But these turned out really good. I am definitely going to be making them again. The smell that they emit when they are burning is just heavenly, and I love the glow that I get from them. Okay, so it is pretty cooled down. My house is so cold right now that this took no time to cool down. So what we're gonna do is add the magnesium water, like the water that we just dissolved the magnesium in, and we're gonna add that to this beeswax stuff. We're also gonna put in our lavender. I'm just double checking the recipe though quickly just to make sure. So we're gonna use 10 drops of this. Okay, so let me bring it down. So this is the beeswax, cocoa butter, all of that stuff. And we're just going to add the magnesium in. See how it almost solidifies right away? And then 10 drops of lavender. It's about 10. And it says to use an immersion blender or a hand blender. I don't want to get beeswax on my immersion blender, so I got this cheap like frother and it had this attachment. So we're gonna see if this whips it up good enough. If not, I may have to get my immersion blender out. It is making a mess. It's making a mess. Would not recommend that. Not recommend that. I just now have stuff all over my house. Let me get my immersion blender. Just gonna scrape the sides down also because that other one we used kind of got everything really messy. That is a really, really nice lotion consistency. So I have a little jar here and I'm just gonna pour it into the jar. It's a little bit oily, but it absorbs really, really well. So that'll be nice to have on my legs. There is our lotion. That is so awesome. And it feels really nice. So it'll be really nice to have that on my legs. And it smells really, really good. So that is gonna be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and I hope it gave you a little bit of ideas on how to kind of remove a little bit of toxins from your home. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm so aware of the food that I'm ingesting, but I'm being so neglectful with the stuff that I'm actually putting on my skin, which is our body's largest organ. So that is the one place that I should not be neglecting and definitely trying to remove the toxins from that. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for watching and I hope you have a great day or night whenever you're watching this, and I will see you on the next video. Bye guys.